unappreciated and spoiled. But today we're going to worship the greatest Father that we could ever have, and that's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, our Creator and Savior. How many of us are excited to celebrate Him today? Amen. Wandering into the night, wanting a place to hide this weary soul, His bad bones. I try with all my might, but I just can't win the fight. I'm slowly drifting, a vagabond. And just when I ran out of road, I met a man I didn't know, and he told me that I was not alone. He picked me up, he turned me around, he placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because He healed my heart, He changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. How many of us thank God today? Come on, sing it out. Cannot deny what I see. Got no choice but to believe. My doubts are burning like ashes in the wind. So long to my old friends, burden and bitterness, just keep it moving. Oh, you are welcome. From now till I walk the streets of gold, I'll sing of how you saved my soul. This wayward son has found his way back home. He picked me up, he turned me around, he placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because He healed my heart, He changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. Come on, let's thank God because He saved us, He's liberated us, He's given us new life, He's given us freedom in Him. Come on, sing it out. I lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. I lost another one. I am free. I am free. Come on, who's free in this place today? I lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. I lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. Hell lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. Hell lost another one. I am free. I am free. He picked me up. He turned me around. He placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master. I thank the Savior, because He healed my heart. He changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master. I thank the Savior. I thank We thank God in this morning as we celebrate our fathers, our fathers here on earth. We also acknowledge constantly our Father that is in heaven. I don't know how you came to know the love of the Father, but I personally learned the true love of a father here at my church, here in His path. And constantly He's just showing me that this is a place for me, and I am free in Him, and He continues working in my life, and I keep seeing His love in the middle of it all. And this morning we just honor You, Lord, because You're a good Father, a good provider. You have so many promises for us, and we just embrace you. We just thank you. Who am I that the highest King would welcome me? I was lost and you brought me. Oh, your love for me. Oh, your love for me. Who the sun sets What an incredible Father we serve. What an incredible Father we worship in this place today. Amen. I don't know where your journey is taking you, but you can rest assured that your Father loves you. That your Father loves you. That He has set you apart for such a time as this. That you have been called for such a time as this. That you were created with an identity. He called you son and daughter. He gave you a name. He gave you a date of birth. He gave you purpose and calling. And that's the Father that we celebrate today. That's the Father that we honor in this place. So I want to encourage you right where you're at to thank your Father and say thank you. Thank you for taking me out of the miry clay and setting my feet upon the rock. Thank you because you created a place for me. Thank you because you've called and chosen me and you called me your own. Oh, I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whispers of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that
We have a good, good Father. Can we sing that one more time?
You're a good, good Father.
Let's go, church.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
It's who
It's who you are.
It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am.
Yes, Lord.
It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you.
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Who I am.
Thank you, Lord.
It's who I am. It's who I am.
Yes, Lord Jesus. How many of you can give it up for a good, good Father that we have? I want to welcome you to CDO Church. Go ahead and tell your number. Get ready. Get ready for what God has for us today in this morning. Today's assignment, God has placed it over my life. It's for Father's Day, and I'm truly honored and privileged to be able to share this message on Father's Day, being a father, right? And I'll throw a little shout out there today, little shout out for everybody to hear. No? Okay, no. It's my daughter's birthday today on Father's Day, so I'm truly, truly happy and blessed to know and to have that blessing of having our oldest daughter being born on Father's Day, and today we get to celebrate double blessing in our lives, and truly, truly honored and privileged again to be here and share a message for all fathers. Now, we may be focusing on fathers today, but we may hit both parts of the spectrum on parenthood, okay? So women, mothers, don't get jealous, right? We'll get to you too today, if at all possible, all right? And like my brother Ray would say, right? One of the things that we have understood is that parenthood is the backbone of our society. And the backbone of a society needs to be stabilized and equipped properly in order for parenthood to be done in a certain way where it doesn't cause disturbance within our society and within our communities. You follow me? So the backbone is connected to the neck bone, connected to the head, right? So as my brother Ray would say, right, we're the head as fathers, but the mother is the neck, and they direct us which way to go. Like this, right? So although we are the head, the neck is the one that directs us, and we understand that Jesus is the head above all, right? And he is the director, the perfecter, the one who guides us and instructs us in all that we do. Today's message title is Godly Fatherhood in an Evil Age. It's kind of a scary title, but don't be worried, don't be scared. God has something for our lives today. Today, as we recognize Father's Day, throughout the many parts of the world in which fathers are celebrated, fathers have been statistically categorized as a present father or an absent father in a child's life, and only being recognized as the male parent, a man who has begotten a child, which, as we can also understand, is the beginning of becoming or receiving the title of a father. But the title without a father's characteristics is misinterpretation of what in reality a godly father should represent. Allow me to share with you a few misinterpreted titles. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. The title of married. Well, the title of married does not make you a mate. Hello. The title of a male. Well, the title of a male does not make you a man. Hello. The title of producing a family. Well, the title of producing a family does not make you a father. There's a little more effort that is involved in us to have the certain titles come true and be a reality in our life, that we are able to be an example and testimony to the people that surround us. There's a little more that you got to give in order to receive and obtain truly that title of a parenthood, a motherhood, or a fatherhood, right? How many fathers can say, yeah, it takes a lot of effort? How many mothers can say, yeah, it takes a lot of effort? Yeah, I can't just be that title and say, yeah, I'm a father today, but tomorrow I'm a single dude. It doesn't work that way, right? There might be some trouble that you're going to have to face if you have that type of mentality. Godly fatherhood should be considered as follows. Check this out. Love plus time equals healthy relationship. See, I can give you all the time as a father to the child, but if there ain't no love, what time am I giving you? How am I creating a healthy relationship? I can love you to death, give you anything you want as a father and head of his household, but if there ain't no time commitment with that, what type of healthy relationship would I be giving? Have you heard of that saying, I love you to death? Sometimes we have a mentality, I love our children to death. Okay, don't get scared. Don't fear me now, all right? The reality is, this is the formula for a successful and healthy relationship as fathers. Listen up, fathers. Love plus time equals a healthy relationship. Little side note here. How much time do you develop in a day to allow that allotted time be one that you spend with your children? Is it the time that is necessary, right? I'm speaking to myself. Hello. Right? Is it the time that is necessary for our children to develop into what we understand needs to be developed in our children based on the Word of God? Or is somebody else taking hold of the development of our children based on the society in which we put them out to? You see, it's love plus family equals a healthy relationship. Look what Proverbs 23, chapter 23, verse 24. I love this. It says, the father of a righteous child has great joy. You see, when my boy does really good things, oh man, I'm so joyful. Yeah. I'm so happy. Man, he hit a home run the other day in the baseball game. Yeah, I'm proud of him. Yeah, I taught him that. But when he strikes out, I'm like, no, dude, I didn't teach you that. The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. If I spend the time as a father with my child, right, and understand the needs and the wants, the talents and the gifts, and I develop and formulate what is best for him based on my experience and infuse him with wisdom and guidance, he is going to be that, you're going to be that father, that parent that rejoices with your children. Because you are in the development process of that child. I remember when my son used to play baseball. I was a hard father in baseball because I was a baseball fanatic, right? God healed me from that, delivered me from that. Thank God, yes, thank God. But my child, as he played baseball, and I was teaching him how to play the way I played, it was kind of an incorrect way of me teaching him the way I taught, the way I was taught. You know why? Because our coaches back in the day, hey, they didn't play around. Yeah, you better get up and start running, boy. Hey, you better start practicing. You better show up on time to the practice, or you don't play. Nowadays, it's like you got to baby them and care for them and, like, you know, do the extra mile. And I'm the coach. Like, what's going on here, right? So I had to learn, like, hey, I gotta teach my son in a different way and allow him to want to be teachable, right? And absorb my experience as a baseball player, right? And that's old news. I wanted to be a baseball player, but didn't make it. And God also delivered me and healed me from that too. You see, the effort of fatherhood, guys, is to constantly infuse wisdom and guidance, preventing a statistical future and a result of a fatherless society. Allow me to share a few of many statistics within our society of a fatherless home. Number one, data from the United States Census Bureau shows that nearly 18.5 million children grow up without their fathers, which has in return led to the United States owning the title of the world's leader in fatherlessness. You know where Father's Day was created? Early 1900s in Washington, the state of Washington, here in the United States. It's kind of funny and weird, right? Maybe not funny and weird, but concerning that in the same place that was started to celebrate Father's Day is the same place that need fathers to be present in their children's life. And what are we celebrating today? Fathers or fatherless homes? And that can be okay within the society that we live in, just based on what is okay and okay to live with and live without. But you know what? These statistics, for me, is an eye-opening shocker to understand if I'm a father and God has given me the factor to substance abuse, with children from such homes accounting for 75% of adolescent patients being treated in substance abuse centers. Children with fatherless homes are twice as likely to drop out from school before graduating than children who have a father in their lives. 57% of the fatherless homes in the United States involved African American households. Hispanic households have a 31% of fatherless rate. Caucasian households have 20% fatherless rate. And number 6, this is few of many. 72% of Americans believe that a fatherless home is the most significant social problem and family problem that is facing their country today. It's kind of weird, huh? How we understand there's a problem. But what do we do to correct the problem? We just live with it. We're numb to the pain. And we're okay with the society believing in this fact or even being a statistic in our society. But we understand that today, right? There's mothers here that play the fatherly role. Okay? There's fathers here that play the motherly role. There's people here that families are together doing parenthood together. But I want to talk to you about a godly parenthood. I want to talk to you about with God in the center of all your decisions, actions, all your thoughts and desires untwined into one, to allow you to understand that God in the midst of your parenting is what you will need to invite and need one to live out in order for you to face what our children are facing today. What are your children facing today? Oh my God, what are they not? You know, when kids come home from school and they're talking about what's going on the recess yard, it's like, whoa, is that what's really going on? Or when teachers are teaching certain things and certain philosophies and ideologies that they've encountered because of their own experience, quote unquote, and infusing that in our children, allowing them to make a decision when they're not even developed into making the correct decisions on their own. Where are you, fathers? Where are you, mothers? Because today I believe, man, God is going to resurrect fathers in this place. I believe God is going to resurrect mothers in this place to play the role, not to be an enemy of your child, but to have a healthy relationship. Because you know, when we give love, it ain't about giving love to make it all go their way. It's about giving love so that they understand that sometimes that love may hurt, but it's love that is for their well-being and a prosperous future that they can have in the life of Jesus Christ that we all have today. Let me share this with you. As statistics show us, the evilness that is presented in a fatherless home and the importance of fathers being committed to the role of fatherhood, we as fathers will need to understand the evilness that lurks when the godly role of fatherhood is not executed design. When the godly fatherhood is not executed design, evil's lurking right around the corner. I always kind of give the type of idea or thought that the devil's worse than 7-Eleven. You know, 7-Eleven doesn't close. 7 doesn't close on Christmas, on New Year's, on Easter Sunday, on Father's Day. It remains open. So while you're conducting fatherhood, the enemy's conducting his home plan that is to steal, kill, and destroy your gift of what God has given you. What are you going to do about it, fathers? Are you going to rise up to the occasion? Maybe today God is speaking to you to make a certain phone call to somebody before you leave today. Hello. Maybe God is seeking you to say, you know what, I have not been there because I failed too, I'll be honest. But today I'm going to make some minor adjustments, maybe some major ones, so I can live out the fatherhood in which God is present in my life. To make the decisions according to his will that is good, well, and pleasing. So that I can live out a life of godly fatherhood in order to instruct my children in an evil age that we are living in. It's evil out there, guys. It's evil out there. And when we don't recognize the enemy's quick to intervene into what you are starting to build in your home. You got to be alert. You got to be like that watchtower in Point Loma that overlooks the cemetery and overlooks the bay. You see, that watchtower has a light on top of it. I'm going somewhere with this. Don't get me wrong. That watchtower has a light on it, right? It has a light for what? So that it may see and others may see. Is the light shining in you so that you may see and others may see who you truly are? Or is that light turned off every once in a while when you are not called for duty? Hello? You see, fatherly duty is a everyday thing. It's a minute by minute, second by second, day to day to day. You know, yesterday, picking on my daughter today, right? Yesterday was my daughter's birthday, and we celebrated it. 18 years old on Father's Day, right? And as I was reading a speech, you know, Eddie has to be prepared, right? I'm reading a speech to my child. There's a little part in there that kind of caught me up. Is that at 18 years old, well, first of all, where I was at 18, but at 18 years old, how a child may realize and venture off believing that it's freedom now. And they're free in this world to do whatever they want to do. And they're free to make the decisions, be out all night, do your thing. Nobody's going to check in on you, right? But here's my word. Although you may feel free, and you are a young adult, responsibilities start to face you even closer. And the accountability to face those responsibilities is what will make you a striving, thriving, powerful woman. Starts today. And I said, don't get me wrong. Mom and Pop are going to be with you. We're going to stick by your side. But we're going to give that love that guides you and instructs you. That love that may not always feel like love. Has somebody ever told you they love you but it didn't feel like love? Yeah, I know. I love you. And then they throw a plate at you. The heck? You love me? No. We love our children, but we also will not love them to death. Because we know death is lurking around every corner, waiting to jump in and intervene in a quiet, dark, damp space of your life. When you need your parents the most, and when you need God the most, He intervenes and says, ooh, check this out. There's a watchtower out there, and it sees something coming from afar. Yeah. There's some pirates out there, wanting to devour my home. What you going to do? You're going to stand up, take care of business? You're going to shut down and turn that light off and just crumble up into the darkest, deepest parts of your life? I feel like God is speaking to somebody today because I wasn't ready to say all this. You see, as fathers, we carry a large responsibility in the care and provisions of our household. And when this inherited task is not carried out to design, we may start to assimilate a characteristic we do not want. Let's read. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is what? Worse than an unbeliever. You see, somebody that does not take care of what God has given him, because it's temporary, guys. Hello, fathers, this is temporary. God is giving you for a short time. A short time. And what you are able to do with those children in this short time has great repercussions in this world and for all eternity. Because it's a gift that God has given you. It's a gift that God, and some of you are like, oh my God, what a gift. I know my parents said that for 20 years. You guys know my story. I'm not ashamed of it. I share my story. Because my parents were people that prayed for me over 20 years because I was out doing the thing. Doing what I thought was most convenient for me. Doing what I thought was free as 18. But it wasn't until that one of those prayers captivated me and touched me and brought me into an encounter here at CDO Church. That's why, fellas, if you haven't been to an encounter, go to one. If you haven't been to an encounter, go to one. Because guess what? When you go to an encounter, it's the beginning stages of you recognizing your divine assignment that God has placed over your life. And your faith is empowered and driven so you are not like those unbelievers that don't take care of their own. In scriptures, we are presented with fathers of the faith that are commended for their actions. One of those fathers is Noah. Everybody remember Noah? You guys remember Noah? Okay, what did he do? Okay, you don't know. I'll tell you right now. In scriptures, we are presented with the fathers of the faith that are commended for their actions. One of those fathers is Noah. Let's read Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. Check this out. By faith, Noah, when warned about the things not yet seen, in holy fear, what did he do? Built an ark. To what? Save his family. By his faith, he commended the world and became heir of the righteousness that is in keeping the faith. This man, Noah, started building an ark in the middle of a drought, right? Duh, what would you be doing that for? Like, what are you doing? It doesn't make sense for you to start building something in the middle of a drought. Water had not been seen in years, right? Where did this man get 450 feet of wood, cypress wood? Where did this man get 3 stories high of wood? Where did this man find some pitch? You know what pitch is? It's Henry's, what you find at Home Depot, you put on the roof. It's to protect and seal the ship from any water penetrating the ark seams, right? What is this man doing? But the man of faith, hello? The man of faith said, check this out. I'm living in a wicked world, an evil world. But check it out, God's favor is on top of me. You see, when God's favor is on top of somebody, anything you do will prosper. Anything you do will prosper. I mean, you could be at the grocery store. Check this out. Buying some tortillas, some eggs, beans and rice, and queso fresco. You know what I mean? And you over there, check it out, man. You got there because you were hungry. You got people at the house, and get up to the line and pull out the wallet. Oh, my wallet, where's it at? Híjole, I'm hungry. I got the familia at the house. What am I going to do? Check out God's favor. Sir, did you forget? Don't worry, I got you. Some halls, but you know what I mean, right? I got you. See, when God's favor is on your side, man, anything you do will prosper. There ain't nothing that's going to limit to you. No parameters. No fortified structures that's going to limit your walk and your talk and your being. You just continue flowing and moving because God's favor is upon you. This is Noah now. Noah's favor. Noah had God's favor. God saw something in him and said, yeah, this guy's living it. He's about it. He ain't just talking the talk. He's walking the walk. And when he's walking the walk, see, I could deal with people like that. He ain't going to do me wrong. He's not going to be that shady figure in my life. He's going to actually live through what I've been teaching him because he didn't get just set up for that moment. He was set up before. Hello? God did not set you up for a certain season. He has already been setting you up. He has already been working in you. He has already been working through you and by you so that you can live out the season. Hey, check it out, man. We got to build this. We got this. Hey, Seth, bring me the hammer. Ham, go get that pitch that I told you about. Let's go. All right. He starts being an organizer. He starts being the general. He starts being the person on the fleet that takes control because he is in charge because God's favor's on him. Yeah, it might take us 100 years, but check it out. We got 100 years that we could be meditating on what God has for me, believing in God. God's favor's on us. Let's just do what we need to do. We're not here to give excuses. The epistle of, I was getting ahead of myself. The epistle of the Apostle Paul, as some scholars view the authorship to the Hebrews, was written to the wavering Jewish believers, encouraging them to stand fast in their faith. The author describes faith by calling out the ancient father heroes of the Old Testament and commends them for their actions of righteousness till the end. Hebrews 11:4, right? The same chapter. Read it when you get home. It talks about the fathers of the faith. Hebrews 11:4, Abel commended for his offering to God, gave the best offering to God. Hebrews 11:5, Enoch commended for pleasing God. See, Enoch's powerful. He just straight up walked off this world into God's presence. Nobody could find him. God said, ooh, yeah, that guy's, ooh, I need him up here. Snatched him up. Where did Enoch go? Oh, man, he disappeared. He ain't no ghost either. God moved him. Hebrews 11:8, Abraham commended for obeying God to later receive his inheritance. And Hebrews 11:7, hear this. Noah was commended for building an ark for God's future representation. Noah and his family were in the midst of a fallen, evil age, and the odds were against them statistically. But Noah, being a godly father, was determined to save his household and implement fatherhood characteristics, not allowing future statistics to be placed over him and his family. There was a moment where Noah needed to recognize that evil is lurking and it shall be destroyed by God. I could just imagine Noah like, oh my God, thank you, Lord, for saving me, sparing me, my life, so that I don't have to be part of this extinction during this flood. It says Noah's godly fatherhood characteristics we find in the book of Genesis is a core cause of a successful father and how he's portrayed to his children and to society. Listen to this. First message I shared here at CDO Church many moons back. I'm not going to tell you how many years because then you start thinking how old I am. It was a message on goal setters. Setting goals. I don't know if anybody remember that message. And it talked about Noah. And I did some research and I found that outline in my files. And look what I wrote I'll tell you, 9 years ago. Look at this. The building of the ark took many years. Some have found due to timelines 20 to 40 years and 100 to 120 years. Whatever the exact number may be, we are sure it took many years for Noah and his family to build the ark. Let's get an idea of how large the ark really was. The ark was twice as long as an early Boeing 747-100B airliner. It would take nearly 1.5 football fields to equal the ark's length. 62 smart cars parked bumper to bumper would stretch from the ark's bow to stern. NASA could lay 3 space shuttles nose to tail upon the ark's deck. Noah's ark, approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Its barge-like shape made it difficult to capsize. You see, when you read Genesis chapter 6, God gives the instructions, the design for the architect to start to perform his duty as a father. And that the architect was able to construct a place for the livelihood of his family and for the livelihood of creation. So that when they were not only in the ark, they would have the time, the love, to build healthy relationships. So that when God opened up that ark, they would enter into a land that was reconstructed and rebuilt so that the wickedness that was previously there can no longer remain in the house of the family that had God's favor. God's favor is upon you. How are you building that ark today? How are you building the ark in your life today, Father? And how are you protecting it from the streams and the floods surging, hitting against the ark of your home so that it does not capsize? Remember that Henry's? That pitch that was made from a papyrus plant? The same pitch that we used in the basket of Moses as they led him down the Nile River. You guys remember the story? There was pitch on that basket to protect Moses from sinking in that basket and getting wet as a baby. The pitch represents protection, security. How much pitch do you apply to your ark? You know what it is to apply pitch to an ark? is that you get down on your knees every day and you pray to God. You know what else it is? That you have a devotion, dedicated devotion in your life that you come before. You know what else it is? That you worship God. You know what else it is, man? That you are searching to gain more wisdom from God, not from man, to better yourselves in this community so that you are able to become a better father. June 23rd, 7 p.m., we have a men's conference here. What's holding you back, Father, from being here and receiving from God? To make sure that that ark in the rough storms does not capsize, but it goes through the flood waters to one day rest on Mount Ararat. I'm not saying out there in Turkey, symbolically, resting on that mountain of God so that your house may be protected and well equipped through any and all storms. Genesis 6, 8 through 9, it says, But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. I see 4 characteristics. Do you see them? Number 1 is righteous. To present yourself with moral standards. You know what wickedness was happening in those times? It says that the sons of God were sleeping with the human women. And again, I'm not going to go into depth because there's a lot of different beliefs about the Nephilims, about Seth's child, about the fallen angels. I just want you to know that there were some terrible things going on. Maybe to the point of even incest. Men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women. No different from maybe today. There was some wickedness going on. And these men and family were trying to construct an ark that was going to protect them. How many times were they ridiculed? How many times were they bashed? How many times were they looked at like, what are you doing, you foolish people? How many times were they even mocked and scared? How many times maybe, doesn't say it, but Noah was approached by certain women. Hello? This might turn into a men's conference. Be careful. How many times did Noah maybe face these type of things that were going around? Prostitution, adultery, fornication. I don't know if they had any drugs back in there, but maybe. You know what I'm saying? How many times did he face it? Hey, man, what are you doing? Hey, check it out. It's going to keep you up all night. So you work through the night. Hey, you need to come down. Here, I got something for you. Chew. This helps you come down and relax. He was approached by many different things, and his family was too. You don't think that his children were facing mockery and ridicule from the children, maybe from growing up? How many times our children face that? You go to church. Your dad's a pastor. Your dad's a leader in church. Like, what? That's weird. Noah faced the same things, but he had to be a righteous man. Take charge and make sure that he presented himself correctly and adequately before his family and his community. Fathers, when you present yourself before God, you present yourself in such a way before your family. So you have God's favor. You have the backing. You're not tiptoeing, trying to creep in through the back. God sees it all. He knows it all. You ain't lying to anybody, just lying to yourself and to your family. I'm telling you, God spoke to me. This is important because Noah had to live a righteous life, correct decisions, had good moral standards, did not flip-flop, was not wavering. He understood the assignment even through 100 years. You know how many generations passed, guys? Every generation is 25 to 30 years. Do the math. How many different moods and different, what is the word? I can't remember the word, but different things that would happen in generation to generation. You guys remember the Zoot Suits? Zoot Suiters? You guys remember the Rebels? Right? You guys remember those that used to wear Chuck Taylors and Cortezes? This is my era, okay? You remember the woman that used to put hairspray with their bangs like that? Like a rooster. Those are my era, right? You guys remember that? Dickies, and the Ben Davis, FB counties, and those are my personal things, right? Different generations had passed. it was very enticing for his children to say, ooh, I want some of that. Everybody's doing it at school. Everybody's doing it in the neighborhood. Why can't I be part of that crew? Why can't I be part of those people? I mean, this is things that my parents faced when I was a kid. But I know Noah must have faced them 100 years. How many generations? At least 4 generations went by. People were doing different things, believing in different things, acting out, wearing different stuff, and it was enticing and intriguing for children to start to develop certain habits and characteristics. But you know what, fathers? Our godly fatherhood characteristics is to make sure that we're living a righteous life, doing the things that are correct with moral standards, so that, you know what? Kind of like your server here, Pastor Eliezer, took a left route one day, right? Well, God brought him back on track. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes God does that in our favor because we are committed to living out a godly fatherhood. Number 2 is blameless. Avoids trouble in decision making. Man, you know it's going to be wrong. Why are you making those decisions? Fathers? Can I speak direct here and up front? Okay, nobody said yeah. All the women said yeah, but not the men. Making correct decisions, knowing the outcome. And not being numb and blind to what you already know is going to happen with that certain decision. Have good ethics, trustworthy, responsible, honest, integrity, having good ethics. Why? Because I'll tell you what, man, in my household, my children let me know. You know, I teach for a living. You know, I teach people for a living, empower them to be better, successful salesmen. Right? This is what I do for a living. Right? And I need to teach that to people. It's part of what I make, how I live off of. But you know what? I also need to do that at home. Empower my children to be successful people. You see, never train or teach your children to be as successful as you. Train and teach them to be more successful than you've ever been. This is a teaching for you. Never limit their abilities. Their abilities were given to surpass yours in the generation that they live in. I was born for this generation. I don't know about you. So I'm going to live it to the T. Number 3, faithful. Committed to succeed. Are you committed to succeed, fathers? You committed? You are. Because this man had to be committed to succeed. He had to commit himself day in and day out. Wake up. Get some wood. Bring that sawzall. They didn't have sawzalls back then. Bring that drill. They didn't have drills in then. Right? Bring those screws. Hey. Because they couldn't hear, it was so long, right? They had a whistle. Hey. Let's go, guys. Let's meet up for lunch. There's a lunch truck outside. Let's go have a little prayer right now. Right? Because you know, at the lunch truck, man, you know what happens there. There ain't no prayer. There's a lot of cheese, man. A lot of things going on there, man. A lot of passing of hands, too. Like, what you guys doing? Making a deal here? What's going on? Right? A lot of things that go on. But he had to be committed to success. Commit yourself to be successful. And when you do that, your children shall be empowered to follow suit. What is the greatest gift, fathers? Let me tell you. The greatest gift is to have your children say, I'm proud of daddy. I'm proud that dad did what he needed to do so that this family can continue. I'm proud that even though daddy could not be around for whatever reasons in the family, in the household, but he was still there. He still hit me up. He still sent me some money for some tacos. He was still there. Right? Because I don't know everybody's life circumstances. They may be different. But you know what? God sees the heart. God sees your actions. God sees your desire. And in that, he will make things happen and coordinate things in your life so that you can be committed to see a successful future for your children. Even though you're not in the picture, he'll make it happen. He'll make a way. When you believe, God will make a way. When you believe in the ark, he will make a way to build it. He's going to make a way to build it. Because the storm is coming, whether you like it or not. How are you going to get through it is the question. If you're living a godly fatherhood or not. And number 4, every project you commit to prospers. Everything you touch is success. I mean, everything, listen to that. Everything you put your hands on, start and finish. And some people like to start and leave that thing for somebody else to finish. Everything you start shall prosper because God's favor is in you. God did not look at Noah and doubt that he was able to finish what was started. He saw in him a righteous, blameless man, one that would do the correct thing in all situations, in all seasons, to protect him and his family. Every characteristic mentioned by God over Noah, he did not gain on the fly. When the time to build the ark came around, he was living it, and for a time that would eventually happen. As fathers, our lifestyles today can make a difference for a future unexpected day when our children need us the most to react as godly father figures. Noah did everything God commanded him to do, and therefore Noah and his family were saved from the extinction of humanity. Throughout the building of the ark, the gathering of the animals, and the waiting of the floodwaters to recede, which totaled 150 days, Noah must have shown his children love, time that equals a healthy relationship. The greatest reward I believe that Noah could have received was how proud his children were of their dad being that godly father figure in their lives. As fathers, our joy and satisfaction are that our children are proud of us as fathers and take notice of our care and well-being of them. What brings me joy to have my children here with me in church receiving. What brings me joy is that my children, when I'm gone, proud of me, of what I did. I left a legacy, and I imparted in them. I wasn't lazy. I did everything possible to give them the best so that they also can give the best for the generations to come. I want my family, my children, to be proud of the ark that I'm building, because discouragement, confusion, oh, it happens. Am I in the right place at the right time for the right thing? It happens. But when we continue understanding what God has placed in our heart first and foremost, and what he's given us as a gift, who are we to reject the gift of life that God has given us? We're able to perform it to design so that our generations, future generations to come, could be proud of that Sandoval family, could be proud of that Lopez family, could be proud of that Reyes family, could be proud of that Luna family, could be proud of that Knapp family, could be proud of that Castillo family, could be proud of that Coronado family, could be proud of that Montero family. I'm just naming a few. I see you. It's our greatest gifts, to have our children be proud of us. Can we watch this video?